A king used to rule in a kingdom. His kingdom was happy, there was no shortage of money and grains, the king and the people of the state were living their lives happily. One year there was a severe famine in that state, crops dried up, due to lack of water. In such a situation, the farmers could not pay the rent to the king. Due to non-receipt of rent, there was a decrease in revenue, and the treasury started emptying. Seeing this, the king got worried. All the time he used to think, that how will the expenses of the state go on? The time of famine has passed, the situation became normal, but the king's mind was worried. All the time it was in his mind, that what would happen, if there was a famine again in the state. Apart from this, other worries started surrounding him, like fear of neighboring state, conspiracy of ministers. All these tension took away his hunger and thirst, and the king had sleepless night. One day, a sage came to his court. The king told his problem to the sage, and asked for suggestions to remove it. The sage understood the problem of the king very well. He said, "King, kingdom is the root of your worry, be worry-free, by giving your kingdom to your son." On this the king said, "Teacher, my son is only 5 years old, how will that innocent child manage the kingdom? Then do it so, that you hand over the burden of your worries to me." Sage spoke. The king got ready, and handed over his kingdom to the sage. After this, the sage asked, "What will you do now?" "I will do some job," the king replied. Then sage said, "This is okay, but if you have to do the job, then there is no need to go anywhere else, get a job here. I am a saint, I will stay in my hut only, staying in the palace, you manage this kingdom on my behalf." The king accepted the advice of the sage, and the sage went to his hut. After a few months, the sage again came to the palace, and met the king and asked, "Say king, now do you feel hungry or not, and how is your sleep?" King replied, "Now I eat a lot and sleep soundly, earlier also I used to do the work of kingdom, still do it now, then how this change, this is beyond my understanding." The sage smiled and said, "King, earlier you had made work a burden, and used to carry that burden on your mind all the time, but after handing over the kingdom to me, you do all the work, considering it as your duty, that is why you are now worry and stress-free." Friends, whatever work you do in life, do it considering it as your duty, not considering it a burden. If you do any work, considering it as a burden, then you can never get success in that work. You should not start any such work, in which you cannot put your heart and mind. Today it is often seen, that we start some work under pressure, but we do that work not as a duty, but as a burden, because of which, no matter how much effort we put in, we do not get success. So do the work that you want to do with your heart and mind, and you will see, that sooner or later, you will surely get success. This is the way to stay away from worry and stress.